Yeah, let's talk about the bigger picture. Let's talk about how we be ballin', playing with the Wizards. Let's talk about the Nets and how they always got good pictures. Let's talk about the Cats who rest to turn them boys to winners. Injuries and updates, oh yeah. To the opponent, we stand toe to toe, yeah. To the top, this podcast gonna go, yeah. I think it's something you should know, yeah.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Ref the District. I am Nathan Perry. Joining me, as always, it's my co-host. We have Commander Trevor.
Nah, dog. Nah.
And Commander Stoner as well. This is the Command Center.
Stop.
Right. We're all command.
Stop it right now, Nathan.
Today.
Stop it.
Can I just say one thing real quick though? In that intro video, I look so young in that intro video. It was only like a few months ago.
It was before the full season happened.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was.
2021 aged you.
You're
All
right.
right, so we're a DC sports channel. This is our flagship program where we're going to be talking our Washington football team, which is now known as the Washington Commanders. It might take a couple of episodes to really get that one down. We'll see how long it goes. We have a great show for you planned today. During the game, we will be talking the name, the uniforms, the logos, and we have a special guest. Hogfarmer Keith will be joining us for that particular conversation. Let us know what you think of the name and the logos and those uniforms. Get it in there. If you're hyped, if you want to be Commander so-and-so, let us know in the comment section. We already got Thomas and P-Dub in the house.
Don't forget me.
As well as our friendly mods that love to join us. We stream live every Wednesday at 7:30 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And then, of course, we go out to your favorite podcasting platform right after our show has finished. So check us out wherever you listen to your audio platform, your podcast. We are William. Yes, we are, in fact, the Commanders. We are also sponsored by Skybar, having its second soft opening this weekend. Check them out in Lexington, Virginia, when they do their full-on opening. If you got the invite, you're not going to want to miss it for their soft opening this weekend in Lexington, Virginia. And we're also sponsored by Pacers Running. For every run, they've got you taken care of. They'll get your feet in the right pair of shoes to make sure that you can keep on moving. You can command that 5K, that 10K, that half marathon, that full marathon, whichever it is. For every run, it's Pacers Running. Commander Kurt reporting.
This is going to get crazy.
This is going to be great. Ernie's in here. We've got a whole good show for you. Let's warm up as we have people kind of joining us, waiting for the game. Let's talk about first the NFL Conference Championship games, where the Chiefs were upset by those Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay, those were two good games. Can we talk about the uniforms now?
Nah, dog. No.
Oh, we gotta talk. Okay.
No. I want to talk about something other.
All right.
This is like an hour-long show.
Sorry.
This will take like 15 minutes. Knowing us, it'll take 20 minutes because we love to talk. So, the Bengals and Chiefs. Jeez, man.
Was that surprising to you guys?
Yes.
Sure.
21-3, bro. I was like, this game is over. Joe Burrow, great season. Joe Mixon, great season. Jamar Chase, rookie of the year. Awesome year. Like, great. But the bus stops here. And then they made adjustments. They were rushing 3 guys. 3-man rush, dropping back, do your math, guys, 8 against Pat Mahomes. And I don't know about you, but I got sick and tired of that man running around in circles. He was doing it worse than Taylor Heineke. Why won't these quarterbacks throw the ball away? Why? I know they want to buy time. It's okay to buy time. But when you turn around at least 3 times before you make a decision, you should throw the ball away after you turn around the first time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. The thing is, especially with Patrick, right? Like, he's made that magic happen.
What's his last name?
Mahomes. With our man, free real estate. He's made that magic happen before, right? Where he's done like 3 spins, he's gotten away, and he's gotten away with that and gotten big play. He's going to keep doing it. And it doesn't matter all these failures as long as he hits once. It's just like gambling, right? So you hit that one payday, and that's all you think about. And so he's going to keep doing it. And it didn't work out for them. Bengals end up upsetting the Chiefs, and I'm excited for them. They do not have a Super Bowl victory, so they're an easy team to cheer for. A lot of Washington fans kind of pointing to them saying, hey, you don't need a 5-year rebuild.
Or 30 years.
You can do, or 30 in our case. You can do that in just a couple of years. San Francisco was in a Super Bowl within 3 years. Cincinnati Bengals within 2 years of hitting rock bottom. I want to clarify that because that's something that kind of I looked it up. People, it's weird where people put the rebuild line because these teams were awful for multiple years. Then they hit rock bottom. And then they ended up in the Super Bowl 3 years after the rock bottom, 2 years after the rock bottom. So it's
like the Rams too, right?
Yeah. Where do you put that line? Some of them are pretty obvious. The Shanahan one, the Shanahan hire in San Francisco, that was 3 years. So you could consider that started that rebuild, within the 3 years there. Cincinnati's a little different. Taylor, his first year wasn't bad. It was he hit rock bottom the second year in. So that's where it's a little weird. So if you start the rebuild where the coach was hired, they're in year 3, not year 2, like a lot of people are pointing out. So they were able to get their quarterback of the future in that second year. So it's
more of the story. It takes less than 5 years to rebuild a team.
If you get the right players, absolutely. And that's always what it comes down to. And there's multiple ways to do that. One of those ways is trading for a quarterback, which Washington tried to do with Stafford last offseason. They lost those sweepstakes to the LA Rams. And now the LA Rams are going to the Super Bowl after beating the San Francisco 49ers. That game, a little less surprising that the Rams were finally able to beat the 49ers after 6 losses in a row. Hold on. I'm holding.
Stoner, you didn't get to say anything about the Bengals and the Chiefs. Go ahead.
He said both great games. Moving on.
No, I know, but he's going to talk about this damn game, okay? He got me up at 7 o'clock this morning in case he forgot. You're going to talk about the Chiefs and the Bengals because I want to keep talking about it. It's only 7 minutes in the show. We got time.
All right. So back to the Chiefs real quick. I'm glad they're not in the Super Bowl, so we don't have to see Jackson Mahomes, and we don't have to see Patrick's girlfriend / fiance / wife. I don't know what she is because everywhere you read, it's something different. But
groupie.
It was a great game. It was 21-3. Somebody put down $200,000 for the Chiefs to cover at halftime. It would only win them $10,000. And they put up $200,000 and lost it on something. I don't know why people do that. If you got $200,000, what is $10,000? But anyway, they lost that money. Let that be a lesson to you, kids. Don't bet it big. They're not all gonna work out that way. They were both great games. And the San Fran LA Rams game was great too. It was a great comeback.
Do you think this is the end of the Chiefs' miraculously deep postseason run? Do you think teams are starting to figure out Pat Mahomes a little bit?
No, I don't think so. I think he's a great quarterback, but they're going to have trouble getting back year after year because of the great young quarterbacks they're coming up in the AFC with the Herberts and the Burrows, obviously like that. Burrows and who are all the other guys out? The Mac Jones.
So Stoner, you answered that as
you answered it. You said
it's not the end of Mahomes' magic run,
right?
But yes, it is.
It's going to be hard. No. I said it's going to be harder. No. He's still the best quarterback in the league, not named Aaron Rodgers. So he's still going to be there every year. It's not going to be. It's going to be hard, but he's going to get there. He's going to get to the AFC Championship every year. Patrick Mahomes is going to do that. I mean, or close to it. They're not going to go through 7 and 10 years. They're not going to go through 8 and 9 years. They're just
every
not.
year he's been there. They've been in the
quarterback.
AFC Championship, so that's really they can't accept anything lower than that. So
absolutely. And he'll make guys around him better. Some of these guys are going to get older. Some of the playmakers around him are going to get older. They're going to go take money elsewhere, and that's fine. He's going to make other guys better.
Okay.
So
I mean,
makes
you never
Tom
heard of
Brady's
Pringle.
and
You never heard
Bill
of Hardiman.
Belichick's dominance there.
Miko Harmon went to Georgia. What are you talking about?
Okay, but
know
he
that,
wasn't.
Florida
He
Gator.
wasn't a first rounder.
Doesn't matter. He was a stud
So-
in Georgia.
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes.
Yeah,
was
Georgia
a first
known for
rounder.
its prolific wide receivers. All right, let's see.
AJ Green.
The LA Rams coming back. That's another Kyle Shanahan staple is losing a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter.
I have a stat for that.
Man, let's hear it.
I heard it on TV. In the fourth quarter, in postseason fourth quarter games, in the years he's been there, Kyle Shanahan has been outscored 59-0.
In playoff games?
Playoff fourth quarter, fourth
quarters. Wow.
Yeah. 59. They
That's-
don't score.
At a certain point, you can
You
say
gotta
it's
look
a
at the
fluke.
coach. You gotta look at Kyle.
That's a trend.
Yeah, but he's getting you there, though.
Stoner's going to say it's a trend. He likes his
It is
trends.
a trend. It
You're
is a
right. He's
trend.
getting you there, but how many times is it going to take for you to get there and still not get there for him to stay? Like
Sure.
that's 4 years. Or
I don't know, man.
Or how many
I'd take
postseason
him-
fourth quarters?
I'd take him as my coach any day. If he's going to get you to a Super Bowl, he's going to get you to an NFC championship. I'll take Kyle Shanahan any day. He'll get past that. He'll get past that hump of the fourth quarter playoff droughts. He'll get
Scoring
past
drought.
You
Don't worry about
might get his leftovers, and Garoppolo might come to Washington. So you may get at least some of that rubbing off on
man's
the
price tag went up,
Washington
too.
Commanders. Guys, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of done talking about these.
Let's go. Let's dive into it.
Today's not the day to be talking about non-Washington Commander type stuff. Let's get into it. We're going to be when we come back from the game for the game. I can't talk right now. When come
Because he's
back
so
for the
excited.
game. I really am. I really am. I got the uniforms up. I got what they mean. I got the whole thing ready for you. Coming back right here for the game.
The game is brought to you by Pacers Running Stores. Pacers has 6 stores in Northern Virginia and DC. For the best running footwear, apparel, and gear, just stop by or schedule a virtual fitting with the best running experts in the business. Pacers Running exists to help as many people as possible through running. For every run, it's Pacers Running.
Just for the record, the guy down below named Nathan Perry, whenever we behind the scenes were discussing when to put out videos about discussing the name, he was not excited at all. He kind of low key wanted to be left out of the name talk.
Not low key,
for,
high key.
for
Did not want to
content.
do
High key.
videos.
Okay, high key. And then today, the name reveal. I can't even talk. The name reveal happens today, and my man can't even talk before the break because he's so excited about to talk about the name. That's weird, isn't it? It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's almost as interesting as a guy who said this morning that he really hated the name. He hated the whole thing, and he was never going to call them the Washington Commanders. And then, like
put a
10
dollar on
minutes, he bet $1 on it, and then like 10 minutes later, he's like, "Washington Commanders, go them!" Yeah,
Let's go.
almost as strange as that.
Same.
Yeah, Fight for Old DC, Redskins Weekly.
Okay.
My mom's in the chat. Ernie giving us an update on some USA soccer, also known as the other football. USA is up on there. Sorry, William, I didn't mean to bring Jimmy G here. I really don't want him to come here. We'll talk. We'll have a
talk
whole
later.
video about that coming up. But as far as, I'm going to answer Ernie's thing here. As far as the San Antonio Commanders, let's get this one right out the gate. I don't care that that was a name that was used before. I just don't care. I don't care if other people are clowning it. Doesn't matter.
We're
It
the
doesn't
Commanders.
matter. And yes, I didn't care I didn't want to get in this whole name thing. I didn't want to do name videos. But yes, I'm excited. That's the one thing I wanted was today for it to be over was we finally have a name. We can just move forward. And then Jason Wright was like, we still have to pick a mascot and we still have to do a fight song. And I was like, wait, we have more?
Yeah, hey, Wale should do the fight song. Hands down. I don't care. That just make him do the fight song. Lil Wayne does Undisputed. Wale should do the fight song.
So, something fun to do after touchdown would be great. I'm going to put that. Fans get to be involved with a new uniform being rolled out next year.
Yo, bring the cannon to the stadium.
I guess Commanders. Yeah, there'll be some more. There'll be some
Hail to Commanders. No. Hail Victor. No, you go. Hail to Commanders. Hail victory. That's as far as I got. I haven't written
on a warpath.
Well, you can't do braids. You can't do braids.
Should probably save our listeners right now from this singing.
Why? Dude? It's a new day.
It is a new day. It is exciting. Let us know in the chat right now. Comment on the video whether or not if you're as excited as we are. The hype video. Let's talk real quick about the release before I get to the video. Okay, that was one thing I was a little surprised about. The fact that it was on the Today Show, I understood why. Right? They are trying to do, and Jason talked about this in a couple different places. They want to be a global brand. They want to get out there and push this. Totally understand that, right? I mean, they did they were actually at the stadium. They did fan things here. They went around afterwards and were giving away gear across. They went all the way down to Richmond and were giving out gear.
2 hours away from Richmond. They could have kept going. I made that drive for them. They should make the drive for me.
They were in Teslas. They definitely could have. Definitely would have been fuel efficient for them.
But charging stations down here.
The one thing that did surprise me was there was no the Today Show thing was just the three guys, right? It was just Jason, Doug, and John. My man right here, Alan. And to me, that was just kind of lackluster. I was expecting to see the hype video. I was expecting to see some more of the pomp and circumstance at that part. I was happy to see that, it was just kind of far reaching. You saw that stuff being released on social media. You saw that stuff happening at the stadium where there was a decent portion of fans there. So that part was, but that kind of confused me that the Today Show, which was where they kept trying to point people to, was a little lackluster. And then Trev, you had issues with Doug's way that he had.
Oh, my mom. Did you see what I tweeted today? What my mother said today?
No, I missed that. What? I tried to stay away from social media today because I knew it was going to be too much.
She Facebook messaged me and she said, I have it right here. She said, Doug Williams, a man of no words. He's horrible. Just let him throw a damn football. I agree.
That's true.
I agree, Nathan. They kept pushing the instance of, hey, Today Show. Then it was just panning to it. It was no formal introduction.
The Today Show had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, right? Really, they didn't.
Nothing.
It was just, I guess they wanted their publicity for it. But I mean, I guess to see what you're looking for was on probably NBC Washington because that's more dedicated to the team than the Today Show. So that was probably why it was lacking pop and circumstance because it's all those shows are fast.
Yeah. I mean, the Today Show had nothing to do with it. All of them. Originally, it was going to all be at the Today Show in New York City, and I think they got shamed into not doing that and coming back to Washington and doing it at FedEx, and that's fine.
Which is great.
That's probably better, right?
It was.
The whole reveal, the whole name reveal. First of all, because it was already leaked and everybody knew it, and if you watched us this morning, I called that helicopter pilot a loser for leaking the name. I don't understand why he felt it was so awesome to ruin it for everybody else, but apparently he thought he was cool for doing that. He's a loser. I want to get that. Make sure everybody.
He probably got paid too. He probably
I don't think Stoner's happy with the.
He probably sitting back smoking a fat stogie on a pile of money, going, "I'm a loser."
What's he get money for? What's he going to get money for?
Leaking it. You never know, dude.
Who gets money?
Yeah.
Somebody giving him money. Anyway,
it's 2022.
NBC paycheck. That's all he got.
Yeah. So the whole thing, though,
Carolina.
the whole reveal was an absolute dud.
Yeah,
It was just boring dud. But
we're
the whole name and the uniform and the logos and the gear and the hype video and all of that stuff is awesome.
Ooh.
But the way they gave it to us all,
We're not
was a
very good.
big, giant dud. But
We're
that's
not
okay.
very good at
But that's
ceremonial
okay.
stuff for like when it
Yeah.
comes to
What do we
ceremonial
care
stuff.
about?
I don't have a great track record here in the
What do
last
I-
year
yeah,
for
what
ceremony.
do we-
Well, it means something. I mean, we probably don't care that much, but like, dang, man, if it 2 damn years, you put out a making the brand video, you fan ambassadors, this and that, and then you're like, we're the Commanders. Like, you know, like
You're right. That's an absolute dud. They could have done
Sean
that
Taylor,
so much better.
We're remembering Sean Taylor, this and that. It was like Sean Taylor. You know what I mean? Like,
You're right.
we're really bad at that. We got to get that down. Yeah,
You're right. You're right. But really, who cares about that in the end? Because what we want, what
people are going to
we want
remember
is the gear. We want the gear.
people
And we
are
want
gonna remember. I
the
know,
all
what
that
people
stuff.
are going to remember is this right here,
Right.
which I know
Why wasn't Chase out there, by the way? Why wasn't Chase and Terry and John Allen out there?
It's fine.
Why'd they put them on
dude.
mannequins?
It's
You're
okay.
right. But you're
Well-
right. Exactly.
they won. Those mannequins were out there the entire time, and people were able to go up there next to them and take pictures. You're not putting your stud players up there, especially during health and
It's at a
safety
rehab,
protocol time. You're not going to put them out there. Okay,
I mean,
let them be on mannequins.
Look
But I
what
like
Al
this uniform.
Capone says. Why don't they do it at night and have fireworks?
Because it's
and have
cold as shit
stuff
outside.
on
Excuse
big
my language.
screen?
That's what tomorrow's for.
It's
okay,
20 degrees outside.
You're right.
They're going to have that tomorrow night.
Is that
We're
tomorrow
gonna
or
have that
Friday?
tomorrow.
Is that tomorrow? Thursday night?
Sorry,
Friday.
I'm ahead of myself.
Thursday.
Today is Wednesday. It's Friday.
Friday.
They're going to have
Okay.
that Friday.
All right,
So
so
this
this uniform right
that I
here.
have in front of you is the away uniform.
Yeah.
All
It
white
is.
that
It
we
is.
always win in.
It's supposed to tell the story of forward movement and speed.
Mhm.
Apparently, the gradient effect on the numbers is a first of its kind in the league.
Okay. Why is it red?
Thank you.
Why is it not burgundy?
Or
I think
camouflage.
no camouflage. I
Bring
think
the
honestly,
camo-
I think it is a burgundy, but I think the way that the gradient amongst the white kind of lightened it up. I do think that I think in person, and I've seen it from a different angle as well. It does not look this red.
Okay.
Can you make
Well,
him
hopefully
camo?
not.
No,
Why
do
can't
not.
Nathan? I want to fight you about this. Why not? Why can't the numbers be camo?
One, camo is actually in the black jersey for the record, which this jersey here has black in the stripes, which is actually paving the way, according to the team, for that black alternate jersey. And this one, the crest that we'll get to is on the back of the uniform above the name. That was the circle you would see when they were showing. So you had the stars and that kind of the circle. That's actually on the back there.
Mhm.
So that one was this one again was the away jersey. This is the home jersey. I personally always have loved
Love it.
the burgundy on burgundy look.
Yeah,
This is
dude.
the one that a lot of our fans, a lot of Washington fans have been upset because they don't like the name Commanders because it didn't pay homage to the history. A lot of fans were upset because they said we're going to keep the burgundy and gold. This is the uniform specifically that is the history and legacy of the Washington franchise. Given a fresh perspective on a classic design, the home uniform will retain the burgundy and gold colors, a specific reference to uniforms of the past. Stripes on the sleeves are a tribute to the legacy stripe on the Super Bowl winning team uniform sleeves of the 80s and 90s, and the DC flag and the military concept of earning one's stripes.
All right.
So
and then
the
get to
numbers-
the best one.
the best one,
The
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers one.
Yeah. Get to the Steelers one. Yeah.
which is our
No,
man
but seriously.
John Allen,
That
which
is
does
dope, though.
actually not look like Steelers. If you actually put the Steelers next to it,
Of
they
course
don't
not.
actually
That's
look.
just-
A lot of
Let's
people,
hate.
again, want to hate on some
Right.
things.
I mean, first
What
glance,
Well, what I like about it is you can't see it in this particular picture, but in some of the other photos, is I like having the crest on the sleeve. I believe on this alternate uniform, the alternate black one, they have the crest on the sleeve, which I really like. The best part of this entire rebrand is that crest. I love the crest, that and the white color. The other one that has like the white color on it, which I think you have for the when it explains what the crest is.
Yeah.
Do you have that one?
We'll get to the
those.
crest. Yeah. This is the basic crest, and this is on the black one, and this one has this is on the sleeve of the black uniform. It's on the back of the other two uniforms.
Okay.
It looks really sharp.
On the outside or on the inside?
Yeah,
because
on
I
the
know
outside.
the stars are on the inside,
Stars
on
on
the
the inside.
outside.
The crest is on the outside.
which I don't
And then
understand why the stars are on the inside. And nobody
And
can
this
see
the
that.
black one also has the DC
See,
flag.
love that. Love that.
and they've also
Love
got
having the
one
decent
mission,
flag.
on the collar on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
you'll
love
see
all
here. This is your camo. Do you see that? Do you see the camo in the
Okay.
Nah,
sleeve?
dog, I don't give a damn what it is on the
There
black
you-
uniform. I want camo
There you
on. You
go.
can put
It's
camo on more than one uniform. Jeez, Manetti.
We don't have to overload on the camo. The black
It's not
uniform, by the
overload,
way,
it's
is
the
the
numbers
alternate
camo.
uniform. It does
Trev,
have the
maybe-
black in there. It's a diamond camo, represents a ownable
Maybe-
DC narrative, is what they're calling it. And
Do you guys think we'll mix and match these uniform colors at all? Do you think at all, or it's always going to be strictly a solid color every single game, home and away? Do you
good
think we'll
question.
get like
This-
a white?
this-
I don't,
a white
I don't
font?
this
think
is
they
it.
would.
I
Yeah,
think
don't
these
think they
these
would.
are the uniform sets here. I think that it's going to be an all burgundy and all white and all black.
Because I'm asking because we had an all white set last year, but then we also had a white shirt, burgundy pants, white shirt, gold pants. We also had an all burgundy at one point when we had the old uniforms. We've also had burgundy top, yellow pants. Like we've had solid uniforms and also still had variations within that same year. So I'm asking, I wonder if they're going to mix and match, or is it just going to be solid every single game?
I don't think they're going to mix and match personally. And maybe they've even said that they're not going to mix and match. But
that'd be dope.
But a lot of the stuff that we don't know about, being just, people on the outside not having an understanding of what's going on, there are certain limitations or restrictions or whatever it is that the NFL puts on them that they can and can't do. So we might say, oh, you should do this and that, and this will be cool here and there, but you can't do it. Maybe they can't have camo on their regular uniforms, their home and their away uniforms. Maybe they can in their alternate third uniform, but maybe the NFL says you can't do it on your first two or whatever. We don't know what all those specific rules are. We know how the NFL is about their policies on.
They love
to find the players.
Finding people.
Yeah, that's right. So it's very specific on what you can and cannot do.
Make sure you put your left cleat on first. It's NFL policy. Left cleats first.
Let's go over some of the other things that were given out today. The primary logo was one of those that was dished out. So you'll see here, if you're one of the viewers, you'll see the description here for our audio listeners. The primary logo is the W, which I've heard some people wanting to perhaps shorten Washington Commanders down to maybe just calling us the Dubs.
That's what's going to happen. You're not going to have to say, we're going to the Comms game, we're going to the Manders, as Trev said earlier, which was kind of funny. You're going to say you're going to the Dubs game. I think that's going to be a thing at some point.
Golden State already does
it.
the Dubs, but
but they say they're going to the Warriors game. They don't say they're going to the Dubs game.
It'll be interesting. Dubs is good. So I like
Dubs.
I like the W here. It's a little slanted. It says with the bordering W are inspired by military rank insignia. So a lot of the military thing that people wanted to see. I know that I was not a proponent of that. I wasn't exactly, wanting to see too much of the military stuff.
Proponent.
Yes. But I do like the look of the primary logo. Now, most people are more excited, not about the word mark, but about the crest. However, there's some controversy here with the crest. It is the crest here does list 5 dates of the NFL championships and the Super Bowl. But they are the years that they won them, not necessarily the seasons the teams played in. So a lot of fans were upset with that. So instead of listing, for instance, 91, one of the greatest teams, if not the greatest team ever to play the game of football, it's listed as 92 because that's when they won this. That's the year that they actually won the Super Bowl. Yeah. Jason Wright kind of joked around, said that they hope to redesign this over the next few years, meaning that he hoped to have to fill out more dates down there on the bottom.
I have a question. So, can they add the year that we get a franchise quarterback? Because that would be significant.
That'd be a big victory.
I'll take that over a Super Bowl.
We don't want to celebrate too early, though. We never know if we end up with
Why not both?
I do love the crest, though. I love everything about the crest, and probably everything that I end up purchasing, because I'm not one of those that purchases on day one just because
the crest on
there's not enough stuff. Everything I purchase is going to have the crest. I love it. Okay. I think that's the best. I'm gonna start calling that's the best thing.
The Perry family has already placed an order. We have a hoodie and a couple of shirts coming. So we've got it coming in.
Y'all jumping the gun.
The crest has some DC elements. I'm going to keep harping on that DC element here because they talked about it over and over again. And I didn't bring this one up, and I should have. But the DC mayor came out in strong support of the Washington Commanders. And I'm hoping that they can work something out and get the team back into DC because that would be pretty awesome there.
Yeah,
she pretty much said we need to start winning again. If we want to go back to DC, we got to start winning. That's pretty much what she said.
Need to do that. That would grease the skids more than anything else. The crest is unique in the NFL, so I think that's one of the things that one of the elements that we're pretty excited about. And then there's the word mark, which is just simply Washington Commanders. Nice, clean. Washington introduces it. The C in Commanders, is cut in a certain way. Looks pretty sharp. Good stuff.
I like it. It's a statement.
And I also like on the names, and I don't know if this was on all jerseys. I saw it on the burgundy jersey. But it has the outline or the border.
The bars. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's on the black jerseys. I think the red ones too. Yeah.
Okay, good. I like that too. So there's a lot of things to like. There's a lot of things that you can criticize. As we talked about, the actual reveal was a big dud. But you just have to be excited about all this new stuff, this freshness of the different styles and the crest and the jerseys and the all that stuff is exciting, and I'm here for that. I'm really happy about that. Commanders is fine. Commanders is, again, it's meh, but it's fine. So we'll all get used to it, and nobody will care after a little while.
Go get them, Manders.
What was your guys, or what is your guys, both of you, the word or the name Commanders specifically? Not talking about the gear, not talking about how it's on the uniforms, all that, but the name Commanders. Are you guys okay with that?
What, are we okay with the name Commanders?
Yeah. Are you okay with the name Commanders?
Yep.
It's
fine. At first, when I saw a leak last night, I was pissed. I was sad.
You were real angry this morning.
I was angry. And then this morning, I was angry because it was 7:00 in the morning with a bright light in my face. Now I know it's like to be in that kind of line of work at 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
Why they're so grouchy. No. And I didn't like it this morning. Saw the reveal. Listened to Jason Wright talk. That man can talk. Say what you want about that man, but that man can. Yep. He's a very good speaker. He got me hyped. That hype video got me hyped. Uniforms got me hyped. The uniform hype video got me hyped. So I'm ready to take command of being a Commanders fan.
What about the Letterman jackets? That said originally they weren't going to sell.
Jordan Giorgio, if you watch or listen to this podcast at all, I need an XL in the Letterman jacket. Shannon Briggs, I need an XL in the Letterman jacket.
They're going to sell them.
I need it. So hook me up. all I'm asking.
Originally, they weren't going to sell them, but they got overwhelming response on how cool they
you
were.
need to.
And then now
Keep
they
them
said,
going.
okay, we're going to sell them.
You got to keep
like it.
selling them. Don't have a limited amount. Keep producing them joints.
But Nathan, what do you think about the name?
It's
Commanders.
okay. I know it's not particularly exciting for anybody. We talked about during the show earlier today when we're live streaming. It's a safe name, but the team needed a safe name after being forced to change the name.
Yeah.
Right. So, but it's a fine name. It does have connections to DC, and that DC is a military town. There's plenty of commanders that are here within each military unit. There's the commander in chief. I think that you're going to see a lot of people were really excited about Red Wolves because you can play on things. Right, you can do some howling. You can do, you can call us the Wolf Pack and do all this other stuff. I think that you can still do things like that with the team, right? I mean, we already say that when you're talking with the lines, they're in the trenches, right? So I mean, there's already a lot of things that you're going to be looking at from an angle now, from that commander's angle, and people are going to start coming up with some good things for the brand as far as that's concerned. Your QB1, right? Your QB of the future is going to be your commander in chief.
Hold on. Let's not mention anything about QB of the future until we get it. No, I'm kidding. You're right, though.
You're right. So I mean, but that's your
awesome.
Like I said, it's going to be your commander in chief, right? Is going to be
Heineke,
your, Russell Wilson, which there's some rumors flying around about that. So I think that there's going to be some. Is it an exciting name? Not really, but. Hey, I think that there was a lot of cool things to come out of that. That's why I was kind of excited. I cannot undersell this. I love that there's a lot of the DC stuff in there. But the shirt I got was the DC shirt. I know a lot of people didn't like that one, but the DC Commanders one
with the skyline.
The skyline,
like
that's
skyline or whatever.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the one I got because I like that. I like tying the team to DC. That's how I feel about the team, is that it's a DC team.
Yeah.
How about you, Stoner?
Like I said, I like all of the gear. I appreciate what they put into it. I know it's not easy. We put out there yesterday that the Jason Wright was in a no-win situation. No matter what he did, he was going to get heavily criticized by one group or another. It doesn't matter. So he had an unenviable job of dealing with all of that. So hats off to him that they were able to get to the point of 12 hours before the reveal till it finally really came out. Although we kind of knew it was going to be Commanders ever since training camp.
We did. We
did.
We had the inside track. Some of us just chose not to believe this man because he does a lot of clowning around. But here he is in training camp. Not our man John, but a guy who you'll hear here on this video.
He got a C tattoo on the back of his neck. I'm telling y'all, I'm going to push my narrative of my logic points. That team name is Commander. Y'all can't convince me.
No, here we go.
I like what Trev said. No, here we go.
Trev didn't want to believe him, but he was right. And here he is. This is Keith, one of our hog farmers. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Let's give you a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Keith,
what up, Keith?
You knew all the way back in training camp, and like I said, some of us just chose not to believe you. But what was it? How did you know? How did you have that inside track there?
I mean, oh man, guys, there's a lot to unpack here. Just
Yeah,
on
there is.
so many different levels, but. To keep it to your question, listen, I didn't know anything any more than anyone else. But what I did do was, it was actually the first night I was staying with Jesse at the Airbnb. Never been in one before. And I couldn't sleep. And just because I had, we had a great day, the first day at camp. And I started thinking, I'm like, all right, we all know that the fan popularity name was Red Wolves / Wolves, but mainly Red Wolves. And I said, let's think about this logically, is what I did. And then so I started doing research. And the research that I was doing, I found the whole commander in chief, and that chief wasn't an indigenous word. The chief on the old Redskins logo, that that's a chief, right? And so how can you tie the name commander to that? That was my big stretch of commander in chief. So I put that out there. People were like, "Dude, you're crazy, shut up." And I said, "I don't know, man. I kind of think it." Then I started getting more in depth into it, and what really sold me was the crest. And so I talked about the crest, and I said a crest is like, they keep talking about family, right? And how tradition and family is important. Well, a crest is a big part of that, because what it does is it allows you to tie your history and keep building onto your crest. And so, when that logo dropped on, making the band, I said, first of all, they did that on purpose because they wanted to gain fan reaction. Everyone's like, "Oh, I can't believe they would forget to blur that out." Bro, there are some of the smartest people in that office. They're not going to let something that large slip. They knew exactly what they were doing, and there was tons of eyes on that video before it was actually released. So they had different scenarios in their mind as to what they wanted to do, but no, what they wanted to do was gain fan reaction, and they got what they were looking for. So anyways, I'm at camp, and I remember Trev saying, nah, but then when I started busting out my research, Trev kind of changed it up a little bit. I still don't think he believed me. I think he believed that Red Wolves or Wolves was going to be the name. And to his credit, it probably should have been, because it was a fan favorite. Not my favorite, but it was a fan favorite. And so I hated Red Wolves so much that I was that bored to sit there and do research. Then what happened was, well, first of all, I had to do research on the less of the trashiest names, right? And that's Commanders. I mean, Commanders is definitely, if you look at the rest of the names, man, I think everybody can agree, like, those names were terrible, right? And if you compare Commanders now, and that's kind of what I did back then, I said, well, look at all the other NFL team names. They're all basic for the most part, right? Titans is a cool name, but that's also, Titans aren't old. I mean, that's kind of still, or fairly new organization, not new anymore, but you guys get what I'm saying. Yeah. So of course they have the ability to create something different than what was created in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and and so on. So my point being is that you take Commanders and you compare it to most of the NFL team names. One, it's different, which is why I stuck with Commanders, because it wasn't an animal. And then two, those other names are all basic. So Commanders actually isn't that bad of a name if you're going to do a new rebrand. So that's another reason. Well, then what happened was I started sending out tweets with that, and everybody was telling me, screw you, you're stupid, it's Red Wolves. And I'm just like, you're probably right, whatever. But then I started getting DMs from certain people. They're like, bro, you are so spot on. I can't believe that you
figured it out.
Yeah.
I don't want to say figured it out, because they didn't need me to believe that that's what it was. But when you tell me that I'm spot on, I've got no choice at this point but to stick by it. So I did for the longest time. But, gentlemen, what then happened is a month before this is actually going to happen, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I started to Jason did an amazing job with this whole, I don't want to say misdirection. He did a great job at planting the seed to everyone. So that way, if early leaks were coming out, we were going to all question it or say that it's not true. And so, because he's not stupid, he knows the sleuthing that goes on. He knows all the leaks. Look, they put that out there all for a reason. And he knew what was going to happen, right? He even had me to doubt it, and I had people telling me, like, dude, you're spot on.
You're on. Yeah, right.
Right? So that's why I've been humble about this.
People didn't want to believe the helicopter thing. The people were like, oh, this was recorded weeks ago, and they're planting this. I was just like, wow. Yeah. People really got their tinfoil hats on here.
Exactly. So even with, the people reaching out to me, I still question it, like, man, maybe they're hoodwinking me, and so on and so on. I'm not that cool, though. So, but... it just, when it all came down to it, all of this, it was all calculated. And so, like I said, the last month, I'm like, oh man, no, really? It's going to be Commanders? I don't know, man. Maybe I can do this late push of Hogs, even though I know everyone's going to hate it, but me. But that was me really trying to do a true tie to the past. Mm-hmm. And not necessarily the name Hogs is not attractive, but again, you go back to all the other NFL team names, Lions, Cardinals. Come on, I mean,
it would have fit,
right? And there's no creativity into that, so why not? I mean, they marketed Hogs for years, so why not? We'd all get over it. We'll all be pigs. It's fine, right? And so I'm thinking, of course, because this is how idiotic I am. Like, hey, maybe if I push Hogs, that might change Jason's mind.
Yeah, right. Well, let me put you on the spot, Keith, here for a second, okay? So what I remember, we all met up at training camp, a lot of the content creators and all that. We all kind of hung out for a little bit at training camp. And when I first got there, you were holding court with a bunch of people, and you were breaking down all of the reasons of why Commanders was going to be the name. And some of the things that you said that convinced me, because Nathan and I rode in there together, and when we were driving back, we were talking about it. I said, man, he's got me convinced about it. But some of the things you said, that you were in the building in Redskins Park, whatever they called it at the time, football team park in Ashburn, and you saw some sort of mock-ups with Commanders. And so that's what you were telling us. You were saying, and that's one of the big reasons. And that's what bought me in for it was that. So is that something that you were just trying to convince us, or did you actually see that but you don't want to kind of talk about it because, you don't want anybody to know?
No, that's a fair question. I'll tell you, what I saw was a lot of fan mock-ups. I saw some fan mock-ups. And then I saw some things. Now, fan mock-ups, nothing against them, but it's not a code and theory type mock-up. Okay, it's not professional, so to speak. But then when you flip through and you actually see one design that was professional, and to be fair, that was not the design. I mean, it's what got me thinking, and then also sitting down. The telltale for me, which made me start saying, you know what, let me start getting people prepared for Commanders as a possibility, because, I have a half arm sleeve. My dad was military 20 years, so I have all of his, awards and, the branch, and just, I have all that patriotic stuff, basically. And I was, sitting there, looking slick as ever, because I knew I was, going to the office. So, of course, I had my baby. Yeah, I had my drip going and everything.
There you go.
I had my cognac shoes on and everything.
Hey!
And so, I'm sitting there, and Jason, like, we're having just a good conversation between two people. I mean, it wasn't really anything, but he just stopped out of nowhere, and he's like, "Were you military?" And I said, "No, my dad." And he's like, That's right. I remember that." And so he's like, "Let me see what you got." And so I lifted up my sleeve, and he's like, "Man," he's like, "Yeah," he's like, "I like that." And he didn't give off anything, but it was at a random time. And I'm like, he knew that when he was speaking to me at that time, that I was like pro Redskins and anti go screw yourself or anything else. Yeah. And so I felt like that was his way of potentially trying to at least give me a hint. So then that's kind of what pushed the boat for me to, when I went to camp and I started doing research, because I hated Red Wolves so much, I had to convince myself that it could be something else. Yeah. And so that's what I did. But no one was giving me any inside information, so to speak. There was hints that helped me believe into something. And then when I did my research, it blows my mind now that the things that I was saying, especially to Trev, because I really broke it down for Trev. I broke it down. And so to see it in action right now, it does kind of blow my mind. And it does make me feel bad for saying that those white jerseys are trash. Because, I in my own egotistical way, which I know it's not the truth, but I'm like, man, I was the creator of the crest. And, I talked about, you can put the 3 stars, you can put the 1932, you can put the W, and what is all in there. Now, I didn't say anything about the Super Bowls. So That Super Bowl stuff, that's not me.
We're gonna blame you for the dates now. You heard it here on Ref District. If you don't like the fact that they used the date or the year that they won the Super Bowl, you can blame Keith. Keith is to blame for that.
I never wanted to believe you, bro. I will never forget that. Right there at that little stand-up cocktail table under the AC tent at training camp.
Stoner's not
right
lying.
After I just met you guys too. I think
yep.
Stoner and Nathan. I just met you guys.
Yeah, it was very briefly because it was we were hanging around that same kind of area, and like Stoner's mentioned, that we kind of had. Keith, you're larger than life, even in real person. You know, real
he was like,
and you kind of had
Cyrus.
a whole group, and
he's like Cyrus in the movie The Warriors. Can you
listen? You know, and you guys know me because you've met me. I mean, on Twitter in the beginning, I used to come off as like the jerk, the guy that hates the team because we were all
in the beginning. Only the beginning.
Okay, like throughout the process. But listen, when I started realizing that, you know, all right, I got over the whole name thing. I bought season tickets for Washington football team in their last year and realized that I could do more with what I'm currently doing than sitting here complaining about a team name and logo, even though I'm still upset that it's gone, but I've accepted it. Like, you know, it is what it is at this point. And the experience that I had at camp honestly really changed the way that I view things and see people, because I started to learn, man, we're all different ages, right? And so, you know, you're talking to a diverse group of people. And to be honest with you, I learned a lot from the younger crowd and had a more understanding of where they were coming from on this stance and why they loved Wolves so much that it got me to back down and not attack them so much, because listen, they have no tie to the old name. Right? What does people had to have been excited for? Not
some of these fans have not known anything other than the Dan Snyder era, right? So we're old enough here to at least have experienced at least one of the Super Bowls.
Exactly.
Some of these fans don't even have that.
It was just cool to learn a lot from people that were younger than me, that see things differently, and it got me to understand that, you know, just be cool, you know. And then, like I said, just meeting so many different people, it really changed the way that I seen a lot of things, and so it kind of did turn me into, you know, more of a rah guy, because I realized we all love football. We all want this team to win. It's, you know, it's the same goals. Nothing has changed. Absolutely. But it's really about creating relationships and brotherhoods with people. And same is going to happen with Commanders, man. I think something that really got me to change is someone on Twitter. Believe it or not, I actually pay attention to
I know.
When people aren't cussing me out, one guy said, listen, you had those memories with your dad when you guys were the Redskins. Well, you know, now you can take, you know, your kids and create memories with them. And that really got me to change my mindset of how to think about this whole process, because they're right. Like, I can lay to rest the memories. I won't forget about them, but I can lay that to rest now, because great, I love my dad, you know, I wish he was here, you know, and so on, and be able to experience everything that's going on. But that's not reality. The reality is I'm here today with my kids, and what can I do with them to be a part of this oddball experience that none of us, I mean, maybe we saw it coming, but just thought it never would. And so now, again, it's just a new opportunity, and it's tough, man. It's been tough, like, reading social media today, because
Stoner said the same thing.
It has been tough.
I stayed away.
Yeah, because you see a lot of negativity, and part of it was from me. I didn't help, because those white jerseys, trash. But anyways, okay. But anyways, I also understand that not everyone is going to share my same opinion on it, and that where I differed was years past. I'd be like, dude, you're an idiot. How could you not believe that those white jerseys are trash? Well, now I kind of come with it with a different side. Like, all right, your opinion isn't right. It isn't wrong. Neither is mine. It is what it is. And man, so much to unpack today, man. I've been filled with so many different emotions, and it's all over football. Like,
yeah, it's all over a football team, and
I feel like people think I don't love my kids.
Won in 30 years.
yeah.
We are very, very ingrained in franchise to this franchise that we love, and it doesn't matter what they were going to call them. We were going to be there for them, and I think that was something that was going to hit home for a lot. Hopefully, they do start winning games. Whether or not it's in those white jerseys or the burgundy jerseys or those black jerseys, it doesn't matter as long as they start winning games. What was your favorite thing from today?
Getting angry about those white jerseys.
That was your favorite thing?
That was my favorite thing.
Getting angry?
Oh yeah, I love the negativity stuff. I mean, I do. But then what happens is, right? Like everything that I tweeted today, I'm gonna be 100% honest. That's all based on emotion. Like now, tomorrow, I'll kind of wake up and I'll be like, "All right, we've seen everything," and I'll start like really breaking things down and trying to make sense of certain things. That's just the way I work. My brain works. But ultimately, today, I think for me, it was to understand what's going on here, and towards the end of the well, I wouldn't say end of the evening, but the early start of the evening, I took a look at a picture of all three of the jerseys, right? And I started remembering a lot of things that people were saying on Twitter that they wish they had. And I know one of the things that Jason Wright said to me in his office is they wanted to do their best to try to accommodate all generations. And honestly, when I look at all three jerseys, even though I don't like that white jersey, right? But at the end of the day, I think they do that. And I think, like, for instance, my biggest gripe was, why would you take the stripes off the helmet? Put the stripes back on the helmet. That's what we've been, all of our lives, right? And so they didn't put all three stripes back on, but they put one. So what is that called? Compromise, because there were a lot of people that liked no stripes. So then again, like I said, you look at the black, people were screaming for black jerseys. I'm not a traditionalist. I don't really necessarily care so much about jerseys. I've always felt that they could do better with updating and coming into the new age, modern era of NFL jerseys and not having that 80s, 90s look or, even 2000s. Like, it's okay to change that stuff, to me, in my opinion, right? But again, like I said, the black people, the young crowd, they want black. And to be honest with you, I don't mind the black. I love it. I think it's a different change.
I'm looking forward to a blackout game. I 100% think that's going to be amazing.
And before I popped on, I heard you guys talking about mixing the unis, and I don't think we're going to start with that first, but I do think it's going to eventually happen. Take a look at the Chargers and the Rams. Their color combinations, they switch it up.
Bro. They did.
They did. Like, they're not going all one color because, again, you're not going to go every Sunday doing color rush. I just don't think that that's going to happen, right? So I do think eventually they're going to switch it up and do different things. And if they do that, I can see things looking better. And it's okay for people's opinions to change is kind of where my thought process. Like, I'll flip-flop. If something looks good and I was wrong in the beginning, I'll be the first one to tell you.
You evolve. You flip-flopped. You actually flip-flopped in like 10 minutes. I did. But you evolve. You evolve. It's not fun.
Exactly. So maybe you take that white jersey and you put it with a different color combination of pants. Maybe
the black pants would probably look pretty sharp.
Right. Maybe that looks better. I don't know. We haven't seen it. I also haven't seen it in person. Neither of us have. None of us have. So maybe things are different in that. But my initial reaction was trash, because those numbers don't match with the helmet, right? So I'm going to stand by that. Then someone told me, well, that's the DC flag. And my reaction to that was, I don't care. I'm not from the area. I love you guys who are, and that's fine. But that's not a good rebuttal to me, because I drive from New Jersey, and I'm not even from this stinky state too.
Yeah, I'm from Virginia, so
yeah, exactly.
Middle of Virginia, there for him.
Telling me that it's the DC flag, I don't have commander pride for that. You're not going to see me doing this like DC flag, because the 3 stars mean nothing to me. But if it does to other people,
that's
absolutely, fine. I'm good with it, right? And so, like I said, it's mixed emotions. Those white jerseys, I'm not going to stop. They're trash. But I do think that ultimately, overall, what I do appreciate in the long run is if you do look at those jerseys, and I've seen what a lot of people have said from different age groups, different generations that have given their input. And I feel like I see a little something of everything from each generation. And so even though I don't like the white jersey, there's a lot of people who do. There's a lot of people who don't. I'm gonna speak the truth. There's a lot, but there's also people.
Probably the first one that's going to change is going to be the white one. But I want to point out again that there's a fourth jersey coming. Okay, there's going to be a fan kind of created jersey or fan input jersey. So that one. So a lot of people are kind of talking about a gold jersey or bringing back the yellow pants. That's probably going to be that fourth jersey because that's the color combination you don't see here. Is kind of the gold or yellow that we're used to.
I got a question for you guys because before I popped on, you guys were talking about the black jersey, and I haven't really looked at the black jersey up close. And when you were showing a picture, did it have a camo type?
There's camo in two spots. There's camo in the sleeves. Let me pull my screen back up and I can show.
I called that too, by the way, but I'm just saying.
The camo in the sleeves.
So it's probably going to be a little harder to see here. Maybe if I can.
Well, you had that one that.
You had the one.
You can see the camo on the strip here on the pant leg, and then Jonathan Allen on the sleeve here. There's camo in the mesh sleeving. So I'm not sure.
To me is going to be their salute to service gear.
He doesn't. There's not a side angle of Allen, so I can't show you the legs. But there is.
I love every part of that.
There's camo here in the leg one. So,
well,
that's how you put the camo in. Again, I there's military here in the group. Thank you for your dad's service. I just didn't want necessarily a whole lot of camo. I wear it 5 days a week. I don't need to wear it on Sunday as well.
Right. Well, that's why I asked, because if it's faint, I'm actually okay with that too. But to me personally, people are like, that's the alternate. That's the salute to service alternate. That is one thing that I will say that I did put out there, and I'll give myself a pat on the back. Was there has been a lot of talk in my DMs about camo was going to be a potential alternate. It was talked about that there was no copyrights for it, no one in the NFL was doing it. And when you take a look at these jerseys too, I feel like they really tried to go completely different than what the NFL currently has. Like when you look at the black matte helmet a lot of people did not like that W, but now when you're starting to see different pictures, which I've seen where they've got mock-ups of Terry McLaurin, and that W is on that flex helmet. I forget the actual full name of it, but it's the W does look weird on the speed helmets. I guess the speed, but the speed flex helmet, you put that W right in the center of that thing, whatever that is designed in there. It actually doesn't look bad, and I actually applaud the team again for trying to do something different than what other NFL teams. Not everybody's going to love everything, but at least they were trying to be different. And someone, I think it was you, Stoner, and this is what I can end on because I know I talk too much and you guys probably
man, we got other shit to talk about, Keith.
I know, man. I do this, man. I talk too much because I'm just so passionate about it all. But anyway, I think Stoner said it earlier too when I was listening, and I have no idea. You guys just screwed me over because I don't remember what I was going to say.
That's Trev's fault. Trev made him lose his train of thought. Whatever I said, it was probably brilliant. So if you want to rehash it,
because I know we're talking
about the camo and the W on the helmet and the alternate. You're patting yourself on the back for
you're doing a lot of self-appreciation.
I mean, I usually do that. Right. I'm trying to keep it humble.
Did you need lotion, Keith? Did you want some lotion for there?
It is what listen, I forgot what I was going to say. Damn you, Trev.
No worries.
Love you, Keith. I love
you. We do appreciate you jumping on. Keith, where can our listeners find you?
I don't want them finding me. Too many people have found me today. Okay.
That's true too, right?
Too many people I've had again. No, I'm just kidding. Too many. You can find me at KGSkins26 on Twitter. I also obviously, and I appreciate you guys mentioning the Hog Farmers. I'm involved with that charity group as well. So if anybody is interested in making donations to help families with from their children suffering from pediatric cancer. You can go to hogfarmerscharity.org. And really, I mean, we got some things going on, so check out the Hog Farmers Twitter as well, at the Hog Farmers, and that's where you can find a lot of things that we're currently doing. Man, there's a lot of stuff in the works with that, and I couldn't be happier to be a part of that. Those guys those guys created it, man, and they're just bringing us on board to help push the train. So. And this fan base, as much as I fight back and forth with this fan base, one thing I can say is when it comes to people and kids and wanting to do the right things and wanting to be helpful, this fan base has been the most and the best fan base I've ever come across on the socials.
It's great. It's great to have a passionate fan base. You guys have a charity going on right now. Obviously it's always a charity, but the squares going on, a fundraiser. That's what I was looking for. Thank you, Stoner. How many squares are left? Do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, so the last time we checked, it's 15 spots, and what that is it's a lot. It was a hefty goal, man, but people were all for it, and I think, like I said, because in the end they know that they're providing good services for these families, but it's $100 a square. Don't ask me the rules because I don't play it and I don't know. You can find that out on the Hog Farmers website, or you can find them, that information out. But there's money to be won, and then on top of that, some proceeds will actually, go towards the charity, so we can continue to do good things. One of the things that the Hog Farmers are actually doing new this year, that it just shows the growth of what's going on, is we're actually able to provide up to $1,000 grant to a selected family each month.
Nice.
So something that we haven't never been. So it's basically taking it to the next level, and we couldn't have done it without the fan support. I mean, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here doing these things if it wasn't for you guys. And then the last thing I have, because I know I talk too much,
Keith!
but
Listen, this is an hour.
One more Hog Farmers thing to point out. They are not changing their names. They are saying the Hog Farmers was announced today, honoring the Hogettes, another organization that raised $16 million over the course of their time in charity.
$160 million.
$160 million. I was a couple digits off there. So
couple digits, but no, those definitely. And the last thing I was going to say is we're doing a stupid gross food on Keith. Apparently people want to see this because in 3 days we raised $1,200. We actually got some Washington football, Commander player families involved. Thanks to the Leno family, she selected everything off the list.
Hey.
But so anyways, we're doing that. So you can go again to Hog Farmers on Twitter to see what that's all about if you want to dump some nasty crap on my head.
It's all for your wonderful food takes that you've shared on your Twitter. So you mentioned your Twitter. Don't forget, you can also check out Keith on the Bleeding Burgundy podcast with Jesse and John as well. Check them out. They're not only on all audio platforms, but also on YouTube. Subscribe to their YouTube channel. They're hilarious. They've got some great skits. And of course, as you heard today, some great insight on what happens with our Washington Commanders. Again, thank you, Keith, for coming out and joining us here on Ref the District.
Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you having me on to talk about this stuff. I needed to get a lot off my chest. So you guys gave me a platform to do that. And at the end of the day, I love you all. So hope to see you guys soon. If not, we'll see you at camp. You guys better go.
All that wonderful food they spread on you there, Keith. Have a great one.
All right, guys. Love you.
See you, Keith.
We don't need the big screen, Trev. We don't need you.
Why?
That was fun.
That was great. Keith is amazing. And again, you got to check him out on the Bleeding Burgundy podcast there.
Stop sleeping on Keith. He might be trolling. He might be whatever. But
you never know, right?
You never know. Don't sleep on Keith.
That's the great thing about it, right? Someone asked about the lights. I have not seen. So they were supposed to light up DC and burgundy and gold
at
today.
6:30 tonight.
So it's past 6:30. I have not seen pictures of it yet. So
Jalen
I'm looking forward to it. I can tell you, and I'm going to share here my screen again because this was pretty cool. For our audio listeners, I'm sharing an image of EP will appreciate this.
Oh, he looks like
this is the one and only Jarrett frickin' Patterson. And Washington Commanders uniform shared by Jarrett Patterson, and then posted by Jarrett Patterson, shared by the team page of him in a mock-up of him in the new uniform. Looking pretty sharp. Love to see it. Pretty good, but I had to share it for EP. Figured she might love seeing that. Obviously, the team enjoyed it as well. So.
I saw somebody asked Kenny Pickett today what he thought of the name Washington Commanders because it was just announced, and he was like, "Yeah, it's pretty cool." I mean, I don't think any player really cares about the team name he plays for. He just wants to go somewhere and play, but it's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
AKA,
nobody cared.
He doesn't like the name. Is what he's saying.
But who cares, right?
Yeah,
you go to whoever pays you the money.
Yeah.
That's right, and who you get to go play for.
It'll be
that's all they care about.
There's some questions here that were answered throughout the day as far as and previously, right? So why did they not go with like Red Wolves? There were some issues, trademark issues with that. Really, it came down to money. Okay, they just were going to have to pay more money for it. So why not go with something that was going to get you more money? Commanders allowed them to do that. I know people loved other names. Sorry it wasn't the name that you liked. It is now the Commanders. I know it's probably going to take some time to get used to it. Hopefully that's going to be easier with the team, hopefully getting a QB that you can cheer for, hopefully winning some games. And new stadium, hopefully continuing to produce some gear that is actually worth purchasing and wearing.
Yeah, I'm not paying $75 for that gray hoodie right now. I'm not doing it.
That was EP couldn't even get the free shipping discount that they were promising on the store. I was just like, what in the world? So
really,
yeah, the things. Hopefully, this is the start of hopefully something good. I know we've said that before, right? We were ash-burned last year, thinking that things were going to be different and better.
And it wasn't.
Hopefully this year it is different. And we're going to talk about here and the cool down about how some things are really just the same coming up here during the cool down. Now that all the happy times are out of the way,
I'm done with the name.
the
reality sets in.
The reality has set in, and there's something that's very big that's happening tomorrow. And I said this on our live stream this morning. I sincerely hope that people give the same amount of energy to the Congressional Roundtable that's looking into the toxic work environment that happened here within the organization, the Washington organization, then the Washington Redskins. And that it didn't produce a report. So if you haven't already, make sure you go out and you check on our channel, our YouTube channel, and you can listen to these in audio form as well. It's our No Voice Goes Unheard, where we interviewed 4 of the young ladies who are part of the report, as with the quotations, as Trev likes to do, because there is no apparently written report. And so there are these ladies, amongst others, are trying to push for more transparency within the organization and some more action. And I've stressed this before, this isn't just for Washington. This is for other organizations as well, right? They want to make sure that
every single work organization,
your organization doesn't have this happen to you. What do you guys think? What you two were the ones who interviewed the 4 ladies. What do you two think about the Congressional Roundtable happening tomorrow?
I think it's huge, personally, and I think it's another step in the right direction. Because I tell you this right now, when we were interviewing the 4 ladies, you can also see it on the video. They were doing all this stuff, but they kind of felt like it really wasn't, making any progress. It wasn't, doing anything to speed the process up. So not necessarily being a waste, but they just thought that it was taking a longer time than, what it should have taken. And so for this to happen the day after the rebrand, which I think is awesome, stick it to them. I mean, I think doing it in the middle of the rebrand week is a great idea, to let people know this stuff is still real and it's not gone away yet, just by some rebrand, a new team name, a new jersey, this and that. Our organization is still in Washington, and it's still being ran by Dan Snyder, who is one of the main characters in this report. So I think it's a great step forward, and hopefully something positive turns out from the roundtable tomorrow. Stoner,
we like to follow this team, and we like to support this team and root for this team and this organization. We want it to be something that we're proud of. But we can't just turn a blind eye to what's going on behind the scenes and just say, well, I don't care about that. I'm just going to root for Terry McLaurin. We'd like to do that, but you can't do that. The reality is that these things are happening or happened, allegedly, within the organization, and they need to be exposed. And this is another step for those toxic issues are being exposed by having this congressional roundtable. So it is a very big deal. You do want it exposed. You do want it fixed more than anything else. You want it fixed, whether it's Dan Snyder, whether he has to sell the team, whether he has to hire the right people, whatever it is, you don't want the organization that you root for every day to be treating people the way they have allegedly treated other people. So this is a way to get that information out and find out what's going on and hopefully fix that issue so we can be proud of this team, not just on the field, assuming that they can turn that part around, but we want to be proud of the team off the field as well. And this is one way to go about it.
Two things. I like when you said fix it, because all these years it's just been covered up. It hasn't been fixed. So now it's time to fix it. And second, this organization is really, we're mainly known and recognized for Dan Snyder and his mishandling of the team. We're not known for, Chase Young, was defensive rookie of the year, his rookie, we're not known for our stuff on the field anymore. It's always somebody's always saying, well, Dan Snyder, y'all can't do anything if you got him in office, or no matter how many wins you have, who's your coach? You still have Dan Snyder. So it's always centered around the main character of this report. So it won't be fixed, like you said.
I tweeted several times today that the team does not equal the owner, and I believe that. So you can support the Washington Commanders and the players without having to back the owner. Now, there is argument, absolutely, Stoner, that you're right. You can't turn a blind eye to what's happening within the organization. You can't sit there and ignore it. And I'm not asking any of our fans to do it. I want to make sure that I want people to understand you can still be a fan though, and call out the organization for what it's doing,
for the wrongdoing.
For the wrongdoings.
Absolutely.
And so it is absolutely something Ernie here says, clean it up so we can have a fresh start for the next season. And you want that. You want to get this behind you. And Trev, you talked about kind of interrupting the brand special. I don't think it is a coincidence that they scheduled the Friday night thing the Friday night, right? So they spaced it out. So there's the announcement on the 2nd, that Wednesday, there's a Thursday thing, and then there's a Friday thing. So I think that they're purposely trying to sandwich that bad news as an organization. And partly that is because you have people who are part of the organization now, Jason Wright and Julie Donaldson, namely they're the front office type who would be working in this kind of area, who weren't a part of that organization but are trying to move it forward. And we will actually have more on that coming up here within the next couple of weeks. Little teaser there for you.
That's going to be exciting.
We're going to continue the No Voice Goes Unheard segment and a little bit on that.
So I applaud those ladies too for
absolutely
doing what they're doing, because now they have a congressional hearing. So obviously what their hard work is paying off, so to speak. I hate to put it like that, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's their voice is going heard now. Their voices are starting to get heard now. So
it's not a hearing though, just to be clear. It's just a round
right.
table. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, but
it could lead to a hearing.
Yes.
Absolutely. They've said they're going to have hearings. The Oversight Committee has said we are going to have hearings on this matter. And this I haven't ever seen a roundtable. I'm sure this isn't new, but I've never seen a roundtable. But it's going to publicize what's going on and what these people have to say. As you said, their voice is going to be heard.
And
We
just to
got a hand
piggyback
raised,
this,
which is rest
I
of
know
the
we're
tradition.
kind of running over a little bit of time. This isn't Washington centric, but it's kind of the topic. The NFL has a lot of work to do. This Brian Flores situation, the Hugh Jackson situation that just came out today.
Hugh backed up on his. He
did,
backtracked a little bit on his, but the Flores one, the Giants are about to get smacked.
It's
Big
really
time.
bad. And I mean, the NFL needs to look itself in the mirror and figure out what the hell is going on in that in the company, because it's not looking good. Brian Flores said it today. The NFL is the leading league and professional, the leading company in the world that people gravitate to and look up to and model them. Football is number one, and you know what I'm talking about, in professional sports. So
We say it all the time.
it's an
NFL is
example
king.
for people. It's an example for people, and right now it's snowballing into a disaster. So
Gotta fix it.
Roger Goodell, he's gonna have to. Yeah, it's bad, guys. So
It's bad, but it's not necessarily new. I will say that. All this stuff
Fair,
goes on
yeah.
all the time in these companies and that doesn't make it okay. I'm not
Doesn't.
excusing it, but it is fairly normal institutional institutional behavior has been going on like this as long as there's been people on Earth.
yeah,
It doesn't make it right. There are ways to fix it. You have
But
to
it's
try
time.
to fix it. But
Now it's time.
it's time in this situation for sure, especially with the Brian Flores situation, and especially with the toxic environments within organizations, the sexual harassment, and all of that stuff. That
Yep.
stuff's got to stop.
it's all
and
under
hopefully This is
discrimination.
a start. Yeah, absolutely.
So.
So that's the roundtable happening tomorrow. Please tune into that. Be an informed fan. Listen to it. Like I said, catch our No Voice Goes
at 10
Unheard
a.m.
as well. We'll probably retweet it out from our account, Ref the District account. So you can check that out. You can make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so you can catch all the content that we push out on a regular basis. We did a live stream this morning of the thing. We talked all today about this name. We're all commanders now. We in fact are.
I'm
Our
still Trevi.
Commander Trev, Commander Stoner, and Commander
I am
Nathan
not
here from
Commander.
Ref the District. We're brought to you by Skybar in Lexington, Virginia, doing another soft opening in this weekend, soon to be open for your pleasure. Again, there in Lexington, Virginia. We got Pacers running as well for every run, and Stoner's got his hand raised, which means he has an addition.
Yeah, I was just going to go through. We had a lot of interaction within
Much
the
appreciated
chat
for the chat.
today. It was hugely support appreciated. Thanks, Trev. You've been finishing my sentences all night.
I know.
Thanks,
I don't like
appreciate
doing that, but
No, I need it sometimes, man. So I just wanted to kind of real quick, can I just kind of go through
Go
all
ahead,
the names?
run through 'em.
William Robinson, Slimsy McCrazy, great name. Ernie Nevers was in there. P4 Boxing Real News. We haven't seen him around before, so appreciate you
we're all
coming
Power
by.
Rangers.
Let's see, Mike Lee was in here, and we had Kobe 24 Forever, great name. We all love Kobe. James Flores, Rankin J, Josh Daniels. Isn't he the new coach of the?
No, Josh McDaniels.
Oh, Josh McDaniels. Okay, then we had our favorite pal Hickaman Majika. He came.
Yeah.
Here. Chris Carter was here. R. Robinson,
Wait.
Rye Riv,
The Chris
Cherish
Carter?
Me, who pops in
Cherish
quite
Me.
a bit. Jay.
Right.
Jay came by. And then Nasin came by. That was pretty cool. Big Simple, Tyler Hiley, Tommy T, Lee Lewis, Al Catone always comes by. Kurt Smith, Corbin Irie, love that name, Irie. Dinny or Diney, I think it's Dinny. Roger Smith, we haven't seen Roger in a while. Thanks for coming by, Roger. Appreciate you coming by. I know he's a big Washington guy. Duana Bland came by. Man, I just go on forever. NHZ name. Kimbra,
Orlando Magic fan 9
came by. Awesomeness Sports. I think I already said Alcatone. Orlando Magic fan 9. I know. Cam Mingo came by. Anna Buka
What up, Cam Mingo?
came by.
Some of these are now an hour into the chat. We do appreciate everybody.
Appreciate all of that.
Who
Fighting
came
for
in,
DC.
interacted.
Redskins Weekly.
Love to see everybody in the chat. We'll definitely interact more. We had Keith on, so we didn't necessarily interact with the chat as much as we normally would, going back and forth with you.
I just want to run
look forward to having you back next week. But don't forget, we'll be here on Sunday for All Bets Aside, giving you the best information when it comes to where to put your money.
Not where your mouth is.
Where your 401k is.
Yeah, yes. Stoner got back his 401k. But until next time,
be a commander.
Oh, be a fan.
We love Washington, and we some die-hard fans. Yeah, we are. You know we keep it on 10. Let's talk about the offense. 1, 2, 3, let's go. And they gifted. We are ref the district. Podcast. Come on now and join us. You join it.